Persistence and concentration are vital skills needed to become a kung fu master. But some fear younger generations don't have the patience or attention spans needed to dedicate themselves to this art. The UN says stigma not only hurts individuals and the mission to end AIDS, but also damages economies and societies too. Those here say they'll keep speaking out against stigma and keep encouraging others to do the same. In 2013, China's Centre for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed a link between the heavily polluted river system and an increase in cancer rates among people using its water. Workers here say that although some pollution has been reduced, it remains a problem. Gaming experts say mobile phones here aren't used as gaming devices like they are in other parts of the world. Instead, they're seen more as a way of killing time, like on New York subway during the commute to and from work. Day 14 of the Olympic Games, Usain Bolt will once again be in the spotlight, competing in the 4x100 men's final. He was hoping to help Jamaica win yet another gold medal on the track. Now, we also have the synchronized swimming now on Thursday. Russia pipped China and Japan in the team technical event. Now, on Friday, it's the team free routine. McLaren driver Fernando Alonso has announced that 40 go-kart tracks will be built here in China over the next 5 years. He calls it a long-term project to find the Chinese F1 champion of the future. The hope is that plans like this can accelerate the sport's growth. Essentially, the message coming from Russia as to why they used their power of a veto for the 10th time when it comes to matters concerning Syria is they believe that despite weeks of negotiations with the likes of the United States behind closed door, this draft text presented them still wasn't balanced. Of course, we've heard from Sergei Lavrov, the Russia's foreign minister, who's come out and said that investigators in Syria as part of the GIM were carrying out orders from outside, very much in reference to incidents like in Khan Sheikhoun. Well, Patrick Hickey was arrested at his hotel in the area of Baja Tijuca, not far away from the Olympic Park that you can see behind me. And according to police, when the police came a knocking, he slid his Olympic pass underneath the door as he tried to flee to an adjacent room where his son had been staying until recently. Many of the New Jersey hammerheads behind me say one of the best parts about the sport is the fact that it's completely three-dimensional. You can tackle and be tackled from any angle. But on the surface, that's rather hard to get a glimpse of. So I'm going in for a closer look. It was predominantly a Republican state, so it just shows that some of those loyalties still holding true. But you talk about the momentum shift, absolutely monumental as we look at it as this time around. Of course, Donald Trump has always proclaimed himself as the anti-establishment candidate. He said that he really speaks to the disenfranchised voters in the United States. Of course, his campaign slogan, to make America great again, he promises to bring jobs back to the United States. So far in the polls, of course, we still have very much a long way to go, but just shows how deeply that message has reached and how many in the United States felt disenfranchised with the Washington establishment as Donald Trump proclaims it to be. Thanks to the cooler weather, the threat of Zika for the roughly 500,000 people here for the Olympics has been greatly reduced. But when the weather hots up and the mosquitoes return, there's a serious concern that locals won't be provided with the same level of protection as tourists were here at the Games. William Denselow, Channel News Asia, Rio. China has promised to lower import tariffs on cars, and foreign electric vehicle makers will now be allowed to operate in the country without local partners this year. This could be the green light that Tesla's been waiting for. This rally here in New York's Penn Station was put on by pro-Palestinian groups, but not everyone is here to support their cause. As you can see behind me, pro-Israelis have come out to make their voices heard. but of course the real concern is what exactly was the motivation. Of course, this attack happened, as we can see, just a few blocks away from One World Trade, of course, the site of the 9/11 attacks that have left a permanent scar in New York. So the real question now for New York's law enforcement is what exactly was the motivation. According to officials, the one suspect is in custody. This isn't currently an active issue, but now the real concern is trying to get to the bottom of what exactly caused these events to transpire. Laulu's art is heavily influenced by his Nigerian heritage, but he says this is just one perspective. With so many unique cultures across the country, let alone the continent, he hopes his work can spark an interest and encourage people to explore them for themselves. William Denselow, CGTN, New York.